This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John concentrate on cold air. Go engraving with lasers, do some magical fabrication, and get a better grip on a motorcycle. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, we're talking horsepower, and that's my favorite thing in the world. Actually, the only thing better than that is making more of it. We have a blown 2015 Camaro on one side. We got this beautiful 2016 Camaro SS on the other. And the two things they have in common are having high-performance engines, and those engines are basically air pumps. The more efficient we can make the air pump, the more power they're going to make. And people that have been making more power for more than a decade are from RotoFab. Mike from RotoFab is here, and we're going to be talking about some different products, but mainly cold air intakes. Mike, you guys have been making these things for a decade plus. What makes a good cold air intake?
So first we have to isolate engine bay heat. So we pick up the air from outside, we run as large a filter as we can, and then we get it to the throttle body in the smoothest way possible.
And we look at some of these different applications here, it's not all the same. You know, sometimes you seal the hood, and sometimes you build a box.
Right, not all engine bays are the same. So this seals to the hood, it allows us to run a larger filter. This is for a supercharged application. When we can seal to the hood, we do. We get all the advantages of the lid without having to take up the space that a lid takes up.
And it's cool too because, you know, you guys, your background, 10 years with Lingenfelter Performance, you know what it takes to move air properly, but also how to fabricate and get things to fit right. Everything from a 69 Camaro, you're going to LS swap, to a late model Camaro like we're looking at here. Your process is about kind of custom fitment, right?
Right, and the same approach I took at Lingenfelter is we hand make a product, we test it, we develop to the fullest extent possible. We don't pay much attention to how much it costs to develop it. And when we get something that works, then we figure out how to duplicate it.
Tuning, modern engines, pretty finicky on that front. You got fuel injection, you got a lot of technology here. What is the tune-up situation with these?
That's a great question because we not only, any of these intakes will install without setting a code, but we go a step further than that and we have our own development techniques to make these things achieve the most power possible on the stock calibration.
Perfect. Not only cold air intakes here at RotoFab, you guys are also in the engine beautification business. You have these great engine covers here. You got this is for an LS engine, obviously, covering up the coil packs and everything. And you have a plenum cover. What I dig about these, thick gauge aluminum, and they use the factory installation points, which is great.
Right, and those are really becoming popular with all the LS swaps going on nowadays.
So Mike, we're going to install a RotoFab air intake on that 2016 Camaro, and that's what's going on the car, right?
Right, right. And on the 2016 Camaro, this is the stock inlet duct. So what our airbox does is engages this duct, actually increases the size of the duct, and then we seal to the hood completely around the perimeter. So what we end up with is a box completely sealed to the intake and maximizing space inside by sealing to the hood, which allows us to run this huge filter.
Well, John doesn't have a huge brain, but he's pretty good with his hands, so he's going to start the install over there and show us just how easy it goes together.
That's right, Brian. It's a big head because there's a lot of brain power in there. But fortunately, we don't have to use a lot of it because the guys at RotoFab couldn't made it any easier. Step-by-step killer instructions. I mean, it's simple to put this thing in. Now, the disassembly process, just as easy. We went ahead and popped off the sound tube. We took the mass airflow sensor off, the evap system, popped the hose off, and then the whole box come off as a unit. I'm here with Jeremiah from RotoFab now. We got an upgrade. You're the fabricator, so you're going to walk us through this install. Let's start right here with the box.
Yes, sir. First step's going to be pre-assembly. Bolt up our mass airflow sensor housing.
Now this is going into the box, and this is unique. This is pretty proprietary because you guys are doing this and you're actually sealing that up. Going from a 6-inch down, stepping down, what does that do?
It creates a velocity stack, increasing the airflow into the motor.
Now a lot of tubes just push in there, there's a big gap, and what the finished product, it actually looks like this here, which is real nice. You can see it's all sealed right here. We're stepping down, we're getting that velocity stack. Even the tube steps down as it starts to go in, so we're making more horsepower as we go.
Correct.
All right, the box is next. Walk us through the install. Now I took a little PB blaster, I sprayed it on the grommets. That makes install just a little bit easier. Any grommets, any advantage we can like to use, we use it here. And that's it.
That's about all it takes.
What's next?
Next is the inlet elbow.
Okay, now we got a couple choices with that. Let's take a look at these real quick. You have a choice with this elbow here, which actually has the grommet for the sound tube, right?
The factory sound tube.
Now what if I don't want that? I want to make sure all the air is getting in there.
Yep, that's the sound tube delete elbow.
Sound tube delete kit, cool. And you can have the evaporative emission stuffs right here, so we're not messing with any of that. Now walk us through the install of this.
engage the elbow into the hump hose.
Okay, it's a matter of just getting that seal in there and making sure it's a tight seal. It's all about that volumetric efficiency, getting that air in there. Now we talked about that, and Brian talked about that earlier, that stack velocity. So as we're going through, that's where this good manufacturing process comes in. You can see the tubes and the flow of the air and the manufacturing, that you don't have any of these ripples or bends in there that's going to cause the air to slow down and actually heat up the air as well. That's going to tighten up those clamps right there. Now that's going into the throttle body. Now this is pretty cool because once again, we're dealing with that factory stuff, no modifications. So now you can go ahead and put that sound tube back in if you want that, or the delete kit, either one. What's next, Jeremiah?
Final step, we're going to put our mass airflow sensor in the MAF housing.
And walk us through that. That's pretty easy. It's just a matter of putting it in. And
2 Phillips screws. And
the factory one comes out of the other one. Pretty similar.
mm-hmm.
All right, we get those snugged up. So you got the system in there, you got it all tucked in there real nice. All right, Jeremiah, you got the mass airflow sensor in, now the whole magic here, the actual cold air filter, man.
Last but not least, the air filter.
Now this is a pretty simple install. All the hardware is included, just a couple of hand tools you have to supply, but you know what? I think even Brian can do this, no problem. If you want a cold air intake for yourself, just go to roto-fab.com and stick around. Don't go too far because we'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Well, welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Well, if you've been around Motorhead Garage, you've heard their name, AAP Laser. Now, we have our AAP Laser here, and I also have Tony with us. Tony, some of our viewers may not know about AAP Laser, so let's start with what is a laser, what is a machine?
Hey, John. Thanks for having us. It's actually, think of it like a printer. They can print on any kind of a product or a material. So in this case, we've actually picked up a smoker from a hardware store, and we're actually customizing the smoker, so it's going to add value to this item.
Now, a smoker, there's all kinds of items in it. Now, to program it, you don't have to be a rocket science to do this. I mean, I'm to the point now where I can run this thing, and that's saying a lot because, I mean, it's pretty simple to operate. Take us through the process. Well, how do we get it up and running?
So what you're going to do is you're going to take an image, either it's one of your images, customer's logo, and you'll load it in the software. It's pretty simple to use. Once you've got it in, you'll send it to the laser and just enter your speed and power settings based on what material you have. In this case, we have like a powder-coated steel. The laser is very versatile because we can use it on a multitude of materials. Anything that's organic materials like wood, glass, leather, even stone. And in this case, the smoker is actually made of metal, but it's powder-coated. So we're actually taking the powder coating off and putting a really cool image on it.
Now there's also a table adaptment. I mean, we're all the way down on the bottom down here because
Correct.
we can put a whole smoker in there. That's the cool part. And we can put some little products in there as well.
That's right, John. It's our patented design. There's no actual physical bottom to this laser system, but it does have a table that rolls underneath, and it's powered, so you can put smaller items in there. We've got some samples that you'll take a look at in a minute. But for the large objects, you roll it out and roll the large stuff underneath.
Now let's talk about some of them products. I know it's different materials. I mean, last time you made me a cup. That was incredible. I mean, I love it. I actually got it on my trophy shelf. You said I should be drinking out of it, but no, it's too nice. It's like a priceless momentum. I mean, it's great. It's unbelievable. Now you said any material. I mean, you engraved a cup for me, and I cherish that cup. I mean, that was stainless steel. You got steel in here. I mean, anything. There's some products over on the table. What kind of material can we actually put this AAP Laser to work with?
Some of the samples we have over here are glass, woodware, acrylic. You can see the barbecue sign was actually cut out of acrylic and combined with wood, so you can do multiple materials to create different pieces of art or different personalizations. And what's cool about personalizing an item, it allows you to capture what we call priceless profit. When you take something that's like an emotion or something that's intangible and put it on a physical object, you're actually able to increase the value of an item.
Now let's talk about that for a minute, because I've had some people in here. I mean, there may be some people that are just working part-time. They have a job. They want to supplement some income. I mean, we had some guys in here with a ranch that was doing actually wood, big wood carvings, mats, I mean, shirts. There's all kinds of opportunities. Talk about some of the opportunities and some of the business opportunities with the laser.
Well, that's a good idea, because you can actually take it and start a new business, or you can add to an existing and diversify your own business. One of our customers is a landscaper. He was told by his accountant to diversify, so he picked up a laser, and now he's got a whole nother business on the side that he's using the laser for. So we've got a whole host of sizes. I've got 4 different models available. This is one of our larger units. I've got one even larger than this. But all of our lasers have our patented open architecture. So even our smallest laser, which is our 1812 model, has the open architecture, so you can do unlimited sizes or any size object with even our smallest laser.
Right. Well, there's the beep, Tony. It must be done. Why don't you go ahead and pull it out, and I'll get ready for our barbecue.
Sounds good.
Wow, look at that, huh? So tell us a little bit about it.
So what the laser did was actually burned off the paint and exposed the metal underneath. So we're just going to clean it up, throw a little oil on it, and it should protect it from the elements and will be good for years to come.
Never ceases to amaze me, whether it's cloth, glass, or an actual steel. We're going to turn it into a one-off right here of this product. So here you go. We'll go ahead. Here's to the AAP Laser. We'll have our Cokes. We'll go barbecue. You can check it out at aplaser.com. But you stick around. There's plenty more. Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting when we come right back.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. It's always a good day in the shop when we get to put the safety glasses on, because it means we're going to be doing some cool stuff. And the stuff we're going to do today is going to highlight the very many and versatile uses of the Parana P65 iron worker, one of the most versatile metalworking tools you've ever seen in the shop. I'm here with Tim from Parana, and man, from end to end, this is a machine that pretty much is without compare in the industry.
Yeah, you bet. It's a great unit. The small and compact, with lots of features. Punching, bending, pipe notching up here, solid round or square, flat shear through here, angle, and then a copper notcher on the back. So
we're going to talk about this machine as we use it, but I'd really like to start from end to end. Show me the punching aspects of the operation here.
You bet. Fire it up, and the great thing about this too, nice and open all around the machine, so you're not limited by the machine. Everything's at the same work height all the way through, nice comfortable work height. The urethane here is grab hold of the plate before it punches the hole, and it's going to hold it all the way through, and then as the punch draws back out, it's what's stripping the piece off. So we're not using machine tonnage just to hold the plate in place. Cool. That's going to keep things nice and flat. So we'll go ahead and knock the hole in there.
Oh man, that thing did not care at all. Went through there like it was a piece of white bread.
You bet. The foot pedal with limit switches as well, keeps your hands free and makes quick work.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it maintains the integrity of the piece. It's not bowed or warped in any way. We got some nice clean holes. I want to shear some stuff, man.
You bet.
So we've now moved to the side of the machine, and Tim, let's talk shearing.
You bet. We'll continue the theme, urethane clamp. Again, maintaining that integrity of the piece as we come down to make the shear. Nice quick cut.
Man, that is beautiful.
The nice thing here as well, nice clear line of sight right down to the piece of material here that we're going to cut. So let's say you need to make a little trim cut.
Come on. This is basically a toothpick. This thing is it's actually less thick than the material itself, and it's perfectly straight and flat. Wow. So the Parana P65 has sheared flat stock. It has the ability, of course, to shear round and square bar stock. But man, angle iron presents its own challenges.
Yeah, you bet. That's why we've got urethane here, really pressing it down into the pocket, and the upper blade also rotates as it makes the cut, finds the fillet before it clips it off. That keeps your legs at a straight 90.
Nice. Sure enough, man, clean as a whistle. And you can actually see, if we look in the notch here, that's where it's kind of locking it down, right?
You bet. That's where it comes down and makes that contact before it makes the clip.
Now, there's a notching ability on this machine that I think is really neat, and that's going to set up a little workflow. I want to check that out.
You bet.
So we're going to continue to show off the abilities of this 2,600-pound Swiss Army knife with notching, Tim.
You bet. Great, awesome part of the machine right here, especially if you're working with angle iron. Makes quick work of coming in and making a piece for laying out some quick framework.
And it's nice. I mean, you could weld that there and be done with it if you wanted to.
You bet. If you need a little bit stronger intersection, we could come back in here. We'll make a couple more cuts. We'll trim out right here. Come in and make a little notch there, and you see kind of Parana where it got its name. It grabs a hold of that and just kind of sucks it in as it makes that cut right there.
It's quick too, man. It's, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Nice intersection to lay some weld in there and you're ready to go. The other nice thing, again, really open station back here, so it doesn't matter how big a frame you're trying to build. you can come in and we'll clip a little 45 right here so we can take this back up to the front and fold this up.
Yeah, that's what I think is incredible here, because you have a machine that you're not having to take this piece that you're notching to another machine, to another workstation. The same guy or the same operator could be doing all this work.
Right, you bet, yeah. Nice compact.
So 45's in here and nice and clean.
Yeah, and we just trimmed to cut a little piece out of here, so it's got a relief when we fold it up.
Let's go fold.
You bet.
We're not done yet. It's time to bend and fold and show off some of this quick change tooling.
Yeah, you bet. The great thing when you're ready to change jobs, you can just quickly slide this out of the way and go to a different operation. So it's nice whether you're changing your actual operation that you're doing, or if somebody walks up and needs to do a piece, it doesn't really interrupt your production. You can quickly switch this out. So here we're ready to go, and we got that piece of angle. Thanks. We're gonna load this in and you're nice and open up here on the front, so you can see we can quickly fold that up, and we can fold it right around the nose of the machine if we needed to make a big 10-foot frame.
Yeah, big 10-foot frame, and if you wanted to weld this joint, it's perfect. You can fill that baby up and be ready to go.
You bet.
Now, one of the things, how about like steak pockets, man?
Oh yeah, you bet. What you can do is come down and set your angle. Again, you take advantage of the limit switches here and quickly set those. Make that live and make quick work of making a little steak pocket here.
You know, there are very few things in this world that we want built the way our grandfather's stuff was built, but our equipment is one of them. And this is solid steel construction. It is going to last for the life of your life and probably your grandkids' life. Industrial strength, hydraulics and electronics inside, made in the USA right up there in Illinois. It is a fantastic piece of equipment. It is the P65 Ironworker from Parana. You can visit them on the web at ParanaFab.com. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. For more information, go to stage8.com. Biocide Systems. Don't just mask odors, bioshock them away. RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. And by Sprint Booster. Bring on the power when you need it most.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. In the world of tools, there are a few things that are as widely useful as the clamp tight tool. Kevin from Clamp Tight's here with us in the shop, and we have a great kind of array of not only the tools, but examples of uses here for clamp tight. Just tell me a little bit about what it does and why it is so useful.
So what clamp tight does, it gives you a nice 360-degree seal. With the other clamps, you always get at least a flat spot, plus very low profile. So you actually run your hand over top of, so you get no bleeding. So when you're working on something, you can reach past it without really cutting into yourself. So very small fit fuel lines, pretty versatile for just about anything.
Different sizes of tools available for whatever your types of typical jobs may be. If you're someone that's into kind of heavy industrial stuff, maybe you go with a bigger tool, but the majority of folks are going to be good right here with one of these kits. The tool and the stainless wire is included. Show me exactly how this baby works.
So what you do is you take your wire. I'm using stainless wire. If you're doing a car or anything like that, you want that. You can use welding wire, MIG wire. You can use a good copper wire, give it a nice clean look. So you just make your loop. Then you're going to feed your end through your loop and pull that tight. Anytime you do anything that holds pressure, fuel, air, water, I recommend you go around at least twice. So we do that one more time, go right through the middle, and just make sure you're not crossed anywhere or overlapped. If you give fuel or air a place to escape, it'll do it every time.
It'll find its way out.
Absolutely. So then you stick your nose in, pin in the front, one in the back. You just go over top of both of those and around. When we twist those two together like a bread tie, that locks the tool down onto your project. You have a notch on the end, wire goes right into, you start tightening it up. So you're not twisting your wire, actually push-pulling your wire, so you don't have to worry about snapping your wire.
Yeah, that's where the strength comes in, right? Because you're using the actual pulling motion there.
Absolutely.
Nice self-lubricating brass nut here, so you're not going to have to worry even about servicing the tool.
Absolutely, 100%. So when you're tight, you actually feel it on the tool, get nice and flush here on your hose. Good time to flip it over. If you have the space, great. If not, you can do a 90-degree version. We just cut the tool away, bend those tabs over, and you're done. So I have all the room here. Tool pops right up. 1/4 inch is all you need, and once you bend those tabs over when you cut it, that locks the clamp down permanently. And that's it, that's your hose clamp.
Beautiful finish job there. Everything from this type of plastic pipe to repairs on the trail, whatever you need to do, even binding telephone poles together, you can do it all. John is with Nikki from Clamp Tight, and they have a real-world field fix on a motorcycle.
A lot of time we think of clamps, we're thinking of hose clamps. But like Brian said, it's such a versatile tool. I mean, there's so much to it, Nikki. I mean, even on this motorcycle here, I love to ride the bike, but the heat's blasted into my foot. You got a fix for that as well. Headers on cars. I mean, this is awesome. Tell us about the header wrap.
Yeah, the header wrap is actually, like you said, it's going to help keep that heat down so you can do it. What comes with the header wraps typically is a metal zip tie. A lot of times the vibration from just a motor or from an engine on a bike, it's going to vibrate that loose. What's great about the clamp tight clamp is it's not going to vibrate loose. So once it's on, it stays on until you need to remove it. So let me go ahead and put this one on. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around one time. Since I'm not running any pressure through this, I don't have to worry about, it, vibrating off or anything like that. So we're just going to attach the tool.
Now the header wrap's been wrapped on there, and now we're just going to use this to secure it. And that's pretty cool because you're getting that, once again, that pull all the way across. We're not smashing into any of the stainless steel on the exhaust. I mean, we can take it off in future, if we want to ride it some more and not have it, and it's not going to cause any problems.
Exactly. All right, now I've got that attached, and we're just going to start tightening it down.
I'll go slow. Kevin was like...
I know he did, right?
It is that easy, though.
So it really is, and it's like you can see, I'm like in a really tight spot here, too.
Yep.
So, but I'm getting it tight. When it feels pretty secure, I'm just going to kind of flip it over. And as you can see, I'm actually going to be up against this.
Right.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut it here.
That's what he was talking about.
Yep, that's kind of that 90 degree.
There we go. Cool.
Absolutely. And then if you want to, you can trim those up a little bit more, or just push them down, and that'll bury them right down in that header wrap.
And we solved a major problem there. Now there's different size tools you have as well. I mean, he talked about the actual telephone pole and what he's doing to clinch that together. I mean, walk us through that. What different jobs?
Basically what it is, it's more about the wire size that you're working on. So from really small fuel lines, you want to use some like 32,000 side wire. 41's a good all-around wire. So we have 3 different tools that will do that. When you get to a larger size wire, like a 6.2, up to a 9 wire, up to AAP 4.
Wow.
So we actually have the tool for the job.
Incredible. Website, where are we going to find it at?
ClampTightTools.com.
Well, if you have a cool tool or product you want to get in here on Motorhead Garage, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. Well, I got some cool ride to do, so that's the end of the show for today. But join us next week for more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.